the learning that happens when you train for theater isn't about training for theater. It's about training for life. Today was our first day back since March in any kind of youth training at all. And it went so well. And of course there were things to have butterflies about, and like everybody's wearing masks and everybody has to stay in their box. But the energy of just them being together is enough to make me think that that's what we need to continue to do. Today was a bit of a pilot. I am currently the only amputee to have ever performed on Broadway, which is not good. Like that was 30 years ago. So that's too long. So that has to change. And I can be part of the change. I can be better at proactively soliciting people who feel othered into this program. But I love the word holistic, as far as the performing arts, because that's going to transfer into your life. And we see it happen. And sometimes we just keep it a secret and be like, oh, look, like that girl will show up the next summer, just have like a swan, and we're only a tiny part of it. We don't take full credit, but we know that her being able to apply these principles of like, oh, I need to be in touch with how I'm feeling as a character, and how to be, the only way to be successful on stage is to be present. And so if we can teach kids how to be present acting, then that's going to transfer into their real life, and they're going to learn how to be present in their life. And there's no greater gift that I've ever had than learning that skill, to just be here now. Yeah, I think for everybody, myself included, it's a combination of the people who said yes and the people who said no. And I am grateful to both of them, because the people who said no fueled some kind of propulsive, I'll show you, or I never want to be that way. I digress to say that, yes, I have phenomenal mentors, but I also had some inexplicable, I can't quite trace it back to where it started, but I wasn't afraid of asking people for what I wanted, because I didn't ever feel like I had anything to lose, and so my biggest kind of, what looks like on paper, my biggest accomplishments, were a result of me just throwing it out there and saying, hey, you don't know me, but my name's David, and I want to do this thing for you, usually for free, just to kind of, so I don't know where that comes from. Partly my mother, I guess. Yeah. I talk a lot, eh? Resiliency and empathy are the two main pillars of what we teach through these theater skills. Resiliency, especially now in the time that we're living in, and these kids who have chosen to come train not knowing when they're going to be able to be on stage again, is especially emotional, just because there's something in this that helps them and helps them help other people, because that is what we're teaching, is that it feels good, sure, but that's only a bonus to what we're actually doing. And what we're actually doing is healing people, we hope, through our craft, through the arts. And so resiliency is what is fueling this entire endeavor today, and will continue to fuel us until we know more about when we can be on stage again. Kids come to us with an idea that they do this because they love it, or they do it because it feels good. It makes them, they find a home here, they find like-minded people here, and that's what gets them in the door. And then our job is to have them understand that to choose this craft is actually to choose generosity. It's again, one of our main goals is to have these kids transition from it's all about me to, oh, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with me and everything to do with those people who come thinking they're being entertained, when we know, we have a secret understanding that it's actually to grow. That's why we're here, to grow. For some of them, it's the only place they can express who they actually are. That they're not from, families full of musicians and actors, and they're black sheep, really, in these families who support them but don't necessarily understand them. And so for me and everyone involved to create a safe space for them to breathe, I see it happen. They just walk in the room and they're like, oh, I can be myself, is worth all of the sanitizer in the world.